King Cooley, that's right. We in the building. Check me out on all platforms. King Cooley on everything. Clubhouse, YouTube, Tweet, Threads, Rumble. King Cooley. If you want a live energy reading from King Cooley, hit me in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe this video, hit the notifications bell. We about to get into it. King Cooley, nothing but love. And I'm out.
Peace. We're gonna do just an experiment tonight, man. I'm trying something new. You know, my birthday is coming up, Capricorn season. Shout out to happy birthday to all the Capricorns. But we're gonna get into this Gemini. 2.0 is supposed to be coming out soon. So I figured I'd try 1.5 to see where we at. And I just started a general conversation with Gemini. Didn't know where it was gonna go, didn't know how it was gonna end. But you want to listen in? Here we go. King Cooley, nothing but love. Let's go. Okay, good morning. Today I just want to do a testing on my Gemini.
I'm ready. What do you want to do? Please be specific with your request so I can assist you effectively. For example, you could say, I want to write a poem about a carrot. I want to learn how to bake a cake. I want to translate this sentence into Spanish.
I want to talk.
Tic-tac-toe. I'm excited to see what we do.
Yes, Gemini. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. It's a beautiful day. What would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about hip-hop versus rap music. Is hip-hop the acronym for higher infinite power healing our people? Or is it something else?
That's an interesting thought. Actually, hip-hop isn't an acronym. It's more of a term that evolved from the culture itself. While higher infinite power healing our people is a powerful concept, it's not the origin of the word hip-hop.
So what is the origin of the word hip-hop?
There's no single definitive answer, but the most popular story is that the term hip-hop came from a guy named Keith Cowboy Wiggins, who was part of the group Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. He started saying hip-hop to mimic the sound of soldiers marching. Another theory is that it has something to do with the words hip and hop themselves. Hip meant someone was in the know or cool, and hop was a reference to jazz dancing.
Is it safe to say that hip-hop is a direct descendant, if you will,
It's safe to say that hip-hop is a major part of music history.
No, is it safe to say that hip-hop comes from jazz?
You're right, I should have been more specific. While hip-hop and jazz are both part of the African-American musical tradition, hip-hop comes from a mix of jazz, funk, and soul, along with other influences.
So what is rappers? Why are there rappers? Does it mean that rappers is it synonymous with W-R-A-P or to rap or similar to kind of rapish? So I think that the word play is very significant. Are words spells?
It sounds like you're asking about the relationship between the words rapper and rap. Is that right?
Well, why would they change the word hip hop into now it's just rappers?
That's a great question. While hip-hop is the broader culture with elements like DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti, rap is a specific type of music within that culture. So you could say that all rappers are part of hip-hop culture, but not all people in hip-hop culture are rappers.
Granted. So they used to call them MCs, masters of ceremony. How come now they're just rappers as opposed to MCs?
That's another great question. The term MC definitely used to be more common. It's still used sometimes, especially if someone's job is more about hosting events or introducing other performers. But rapper became more popular as the focus shifted more towards the rhyming and musical side of things.
So in the beginning of hip hop, is it safe to say that the DJs were more important than the MC?
Absolutely. In the early days of hip hop, DJs were the absolute stars. They had to be super creative with the records they had, cutting and blending tracks to keep the energy going. MCs were more like hype men back then, talking over the music to get the crowd excited. So for sure, the DJ was the centerpiece in those early block parties.
Block party. So is that where hip hop started?
You're absolutely right. The DJ was the star of the show in those early days. They were the ones keeping the energy going with their incredible skills. MCs were more like hype men, getting the crowd pumped up. Do you want to hear about some of the legendary DJs who helped shape the sound of early hip hop?
Not quite yet. You mentioned block party. What's a block party for those who don't understand?
Sure thing. A block party is like a big outdoor party that happens on a single street. Basically, they close off the street to cars, and people hang out, listen to music, dance, and have fun. They're a way for neighbors to get together and build a sense of community.
Now, was it necessary to have a permit, or could they just block the streets off anytime they felt like it?
Back then, things were a lot more laid back. Permits weren't nearly as strict, especially in the neighborhoods where these parties started. It was more about the community coming together, and there was real energy around those early block parties.
Yes. Some say that hip hop kind of started in the 60s. Is that true?
Yeah, you could say the roots of hip hop go back to the 60s. That's when they started to see the building blocks come together, stuff like DJs experimenting with mixing records, and the whole MC culture where people would talk over instrumentals. Do you want to hear about some specific examples from that era?
Well, I'd like to know more about the turntables. Who created the turntables so that they were able to be accessible for DJs to spin backwards and forwards?
That's a great question. The turntable itself has a long history, but the kind of turntables DJs use to scratch and mix records is a bit different. Those were developed alongside hip-hop culture itself. Do you want to hear about some of the early pioneers of turntablism?
Well, the marketer, was it techniques?
Yeah, the techniques for scratching and mixing on turntables definitely evolved over time. Early hip-hop DJs were experimenting constantly, figuring out what worked best for them. Do you want to hear about some of the specific techniques they developed?
No, but I'd like to talk about the old Casio machines that came out. A lot of them started on the Casio and the 808 drum machines.
The 808 and the TR-909 were definitely iconic drum machines that came out of that era. They had a huge impact on the sound of early hip-hop and electronic music in general.
Right, what about the Casio? Home Casio that was very popular in the 80s.
Absolutely. The Casio SK1 was super popular in the 80s. It was one of the first affordable synthesizers, so a lot of people got their start making music on one.
Interesting. What about
what?
Rapper's Delight? How impacted was that to hip hop, especially going mainstream?
Rapper's Delight had a huge impact on hip hop. It was the first rap song to really blow up, reaching number 36 on the Billboard charts. Before that, hip hop was mostly an underground thing. After Rapper's Delight, it proved that rap could be popular, which opened doors for tons of other rappers.
So the Sugar Hill Gang, would you consider them pioneers because they were on Sylvia Rome, right? Did she not start the Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah, you could definitely call them pioneers. Sylvia Robinson was a key figure in hip-hop. She ran the Sugar Hill Records label and was the one who came up with the idea for Rapper's Delight. The Sugar Hill Gang wouldn't have had the same success without her.
Exactly. And Sugar Hill, where is that actually located? Up in Harlem somewhere, no?
That's a good point. While the Sugar Hill Gang was named after the Sugar Hill neighborhood in Harlem, they were actually from Inglewood, New Jersey. Sylvia Robinson, who started the label, is the one with the connection to Harlem.
And also, is Harlem where Uptown Records get their start?
You're absolutely right. Uptown Records was a big deal in the hip-hop scene, and it did start in Harlem. They had a lot of hits that really defined the sound of the 80s and early 90s.
some of the main artists on Uptown Records who broke through the barriers?
Some of the biggest names to come out of Uptown Records include Heavy D and the Boys, Mary J, WIH and Father MC. These artists really helped define the sound of the label and had a huge impact on the music industry.
What was Father MC's breakout song?
Father MC had a few big songs, but the one that really put him on the map was probably I'll Do For You. It was a huge hit, and it's still considered one of his classics. Do you want to hear a little bit about the song?
No, but did Father MC ever shoot a music video at the Apollo Theater in Harlem?
Yes, Father MC did perform at the Apollo Theater, but I couldn't find anything about him shooting a music video there specifically. The Apollo was a big deal for a lot of artists, so it's possible he filmed something there that hasn't been widely released.
Was there a point where hip-hop was banned in a lot of the concert areas and only Apollo Theater was the only venue to go to?
It's not quite like that, but there was definitely some resistance to hip-hop in the early days. You see, when hip-hop first started getting popular, a lot of people thought it was just a passing fad, and some venues weren't interested in booking rap acts. Plus, there was some negative press and a few stereotypes that made it harder for hip-hop artists to get shows at more mainstream venues. The Apollo was special because it had a long history of showcasing black artists, so it was more open to hip-hop from the start.
So, wow, now you have 2 or 3 hip-hop artists that are billionaires. Wouldn't that have changed the way they thought about hip-hop in the beginning?
You're absolutely right. The idea of hip-hop artists becoming billionaires is mind-blowing compared to the early days. Back then, just getting paid for making music was a big deal. Would you like to hear about some of the challenges that early hip-hop artists faced?
Yes.
Early hip-hop artists faced a lot of challenges. For starters, there wasn't much money in it at the beginning. Record labels weren't exactly lining up to sign rappers. So many of them struggled just to get by. And even when they did get some recognition, the money wasn't always great. Do you want to hear about some of the specific challenges they faced?
No, but who was some of the people behind the record labels that gave these guys a chance? Like Cold Chillin' Records, things of that nature.
These are some of the smaller labels that gave early hip-hop artists a shot. Were really about the passion. People like Sylvia Robinson, who founded Sugar Hill Records, were believers in the music from the start. Another label, Tommy Boy Records, was also really important for bringing hip-hop to a wider audience.
How about Cold Chillin' Records?
Cold Chillin' Records was definitely a major player in the hip-hop scene. They were home to a lot of talented artists and producers. Marley Marl, who was on the label, was a legendary producer who had a huge influence on the sound of hip-hop. Do you want to hear about some of the artists that were on Cold Chillin'?
Yes, please.
Cold Chillin' had a lot of great artists. Some of the most popular were MC Shan, Cool G Rap, and Big Daddy Kane. They also had a group called the Juice Crew, which was a whole bunch of talented rappers and DJs. Do you want to hear about a specific artist or maybe a song they're known for?
Was Roxanne Shante a part of that?
Yes, Roxanne Shante was definitely part of the Cold Chillin' Records crew. She was one of the first really popular female rappers, known for her super confident and sometimes controversial lyrics.
How old was she when she began?
Roxanne Shante started rapping when she was super young, like 9 years old. She was only 14 when she recorded her hit song, Roxanne's Revenge.
Wow, interesting. Was she the youngest rapper ever to go public?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Her story is a testament to the energy and creativity of hip-hop culture, even back then.
Rumor has it that she didn't even take pay. They offered her pay in advance or to go to school, and she chose to continue to go to school, and they paid for her doctorate degree. Is that true?
I couldn't find anything about Roxanne Shante getting a doctorate or turning down a record deal to finish school. It's possible there might be some confusion or misinformation about her story. Is there anything else you'd like to know about her?
Well, what's her real name?
Her real name is Lolita Shante Gooden.
And there's no record of a Dr. Lolita Gooden?
That's right. It sounds like there
Okay, maybe it was remote control, but that would have been amazing. Yes.
It definitely would have been an amazing story. Roxanne Shantae's life has been inspiring enough without that, though. She's a true hip-hop pioneer. Do you want to hear about some of the other women who helped shape the sound of early hip-hop?
Yes, please.
Okay, here's a few of the amazing women who helped shape early hip-hop. First, there's MC Light. She was the first solo female rapper to release a full-length album, and her music was known for being strong and independent. Then, there's Queen Latifah. She was part of the Native Tongues Collective, which was all about positive lyrics and social consciousness. Queen Latifah wasn't afraid to address serious issues like sexism and inequality. Do you want to hear about some other influential women?
Yes, but more about influential hip hop, like consciousness. Who were part of the conscious culture?
Okay, some of the most influential conscious rappers include, first there's KRS-One. He was really focused on using hip-hop to educate and inspire people, and his lyrics often dealt with social and political issues. Then there's Public Enemy. They were known for their super political and sometimes controversial songs that really made people think about the world around them. Do you want to hear about some other conscious rappers?
Yes. Yes, please.
Sure, here's one more name to add to the list. A Tribe Called Quest were big on conscious lyrics, but they had a more laid-back, jazzy vibe compared to some of the other groups. They talked about things like self-respect, community, and spirituality. Would you like to hear about some specific songs from these groups?
Yes, please.
All right, here's a classic from Public Enemy. It's called Fight the Power. Be warned, it's a powerful one that really doesn't hold back when it comes to calling out injustice.
Any more? What else is there?
Alright, here's another one from A Tribe called Quest. It's called Can I Kick It? It's got that classic laid-back vibe with a super catchy beat.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, if you're looking for something with a little more intensity, I can recommend The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It's a classic that really doesn't pull any punches when it comes to the realities of life in the inner city.
Yes, I believe I know that one. Let's see. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge.
That's right. The Message definitely doesn't hold back. It's one of those songs that really made an impact when it came out. Do you want to hear about some more songs that were important for the development of hip-hop?
I'd like to know, in 2025, the conscious hip hop movement will make a better upgrade.
It's hard to say exactly what direction conscious hip-hop will take in 2025. A lot of it depends on what's going on in the world and how artists choose to respond. But we can look at some trends that might influence the future of the genre. First, there's been a real focus lately on mental health and personal struggles, and that might continue. Second, with all the social and political stuff going on, it's likely that conscious rappers will keep speaking out. Finally, there's a growing interest in mixing different genres with hip-hop, so we might hear some really unique sounds coming from conscious artists.
Well, according to the cosmos, with Pluto ingressed into Aquarius, leaving Capricorn, it's a big change for the next 20 years. And I believe that's also part of why hip hop will make a conscious move.
That's an interesting perspective. It's true that Pluto's shifted to Aquarius could bring about some major changes, and it's definitely possible that the hip-hop world will be influenced. We'll have to wait and see how things unfold over the next few years. In the meantime, would you like to hear about some of the current artists who are carrying on the conscious hip-hop tradition?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Alright, here's a classic jam. Cool track called Fire Squad. It's got a lot of his signature introspective lyrics and touches on some important stuff.
Interesting. Anyone speak about natal birth?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Any rappers that speak about spirituality, cosmic energy, cosmology, anything of that nature?
Absolutely. There are a few rappers who touch on those themes. Mos Def, for instance, has songs that explore spirituality and the search for deeper meaning. And Talib Kweli, another great artist, often raps about consciousness and social awareness. Would you like to hear a track from one of them?
Yes, please.
All right, here's a track from Mos Def called Mathematics. It's got that classic Mos Def vibe, and the lyrics touch on some really interesting ideas.
All right.
Sounds like you're curious about the deeper side of it.
Yes, I am.
Anytime. Do you want to hear about some? Okay, here's another artist to check out. Common. He's known for blending conscious lyrics with a smooth flow. You might also like Blue in Exile if you haven't heard of them. They've got a really laid-back style with introspective lyrics. Would you like to hear a track from one of them?
Yes, please.
All right, here's a track from Common called The Light. It's a classic that's perfect for what you're looking for.
The light. That's what we need. But also, we can't abstain from the darkness, because from darkness came the light.
That's a powerful perspective. You're right, there's a yin and yang to everything. Even in music. You want to hear a track that explores that contrast?
Yes, please.
All right, then how about Paper Thin Walls by Run the Jewels? It's got that raw, gritty energy, but it's layered with really clever wordplay and social commentary.
Wow, very interesting, very interesting. How about music videos?
I'm glad you like it. There's a whole world. What about music videos?
Let's speak about Hype Williams, Harold Williams, Big Dog Productions.
Absolutely. Hype Williams is a legendary figure in music videos. His work is instantly recognizable with its high fashion style, vibrant colors, and cinematic scope. He really elevated the art of the music video. What would you like to talk about? His early work, a specific video, or maybe his impact on the industry?
Let's talk about his first production as Big Dog Productions.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything about Hype Williams' first production with Big Dog Productions. It seems like that info might be a little hard to track down. We could talk about some of his earliest videos with Big Dog Productions, though. Would you like to hear about those?
Yes, please.
All right, some of Hype Williams' earliest videos with Big Dog Productions were for artists like Wu-Tang Clan and Mary J. WIH. His videos really helped define his signature style. Lots of old visuals, slow motion, and a real cinematic feel. Do you want to hear about a specific video?
Yes, did he do K7? Zunga 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 Zang.
Yes, Hype Williams did direct a music video for K7. It was for the song Zunga Zing, and it definitely has that classic Hype Williams style. Would you like to hear more about that video?
Yes, well, I worked on that video, by the way.
That's amazing. It must have been an incredible experience to work on a Hype Williams video. This video is definitely one of his most iconic. Do you have any behind-the-scenes stories you can share?
Well, it was a lot of work. Back then, the lights were a lot bigger. I did the lighting. I worked in the lighting department under the gaffer. And it was just a lot of heavy equipment, heavy cables, 4 odds, so that you can go into the, the generators. There was a lot of lighting, a lot of backlighting. It was amazing.
That's incredible. It sounds like you had a really important role in creating that iconic look of the video. Lighting is everything in a project like that. Did you get a chance to interact with Hype Williams much?
Oh, of course. Hype Williams is an amazing director, but he also was a director of photography before he became his own. And I worked with Hype many years up until he started to do his own thing. Yes, Harold Williams.
That's incredible. It sounds like you were there right at the start of something really special. Hype Williams' work completely transformed music videos, and it sounds like you played a part in building that foundation. Do you have any favorite memories from working with him?
Well, yes, I believe we worked on the DOS Effects video in the sewers. That was also crazy, but it was an experience that I'll never forget.
Fantastic. It sounds like that was a really intense project. I can only imagine the challenges of lighting and filming in such a unique
was also the Vid Kid and Ralph McDaniels, because Hype Williams started with them first, I believe.
That's right. Ralph McDaniels and Video Music Box were super important for the early hip-hop music videos. It's cool that you worked with both him and Hype Williams. Do you have any specific memories of working on projects with Ralph McDaniels?
Oh man, Ralph was amazing, very quiet, very smart, but it was the Vid Kid. He had a partner called the Vid Kid. And the Vid Kid, he was amazing. He had the vision, he saw everything, and he put everything together, the lights, the sound, the background, the noise, the artist, the direction. He was very implemented into the video scene. And to this day, he done a lot of Busta Rhymes videos. I'm not sure who did the one with Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson. Do you know who did that video?
The music video for What's It Gonna Be by Busta Rhymes, featuring Janet Jackson, was directed by Hype Williams. It was filmed in 1998 and released in 1999. The video is known for its futuristic and visually striking style, which was typical of Williams' work at the time.
Yes, he was very big in the scene. And I think he made the most expensive videos. How about that video? How much do you think it cost?
Yeah, the What's It Gonna Be video definitely had a huge budget. I saw reports that it cost around $2.4 million to make back in 1999. That was a ton of money for a music video back then.
What would be the equivalent of that price in 2025?
It would be tough to get an exact figure, but we can make a pretty good estimate. Considering inflation and how the music video industry has changed, I'd say that $2.4 million in 1999 would be somewhere around $5 minus $6 million in today's dollars. Do you want to hear about some of the most expensive music videos ever made?
Yes, please.
All right, let's dive into the world of mega expensive music videos. The absolute king of the hill is still Scream by Michael and Janet Jackson. They reportedly dropped a whopping $7 million on that video back in 1995. To put that in perspective, that's like $14 million in today's dollars. You mentioned Busta Rhymes. His video for Dangerous came in at a cool $2 million.
Wow. They saying Busta Rhymes.
Absolutely insane, especially when you think about how much simpler the technology was back then. Do you want to hear about some of the most expensive videos from more recent years?
How about the most expensive concerts, performances, budgets, production in hip hop?
When it comes to hip-hop tours, the budgets can get absolutely crazy. Jay-Z and Kanye West's Watch the Throne tour was a total spectacle, and it definitely cost a fortune. Drake's recent tour also had some seriously over-the-top production value. Do you want to hear about some of the specific things that make these tours so expensive?
Yes, please.
Sure thing. These massive hip-hop tours have a ton of moving parts that drive up the cost. First, you've got the stage design and production. Think massive LED screens, custom props, and sometimes even crazy special effects. Then there's the crew. You need a ton of people to run everything smoothly, from sound and lighting engineers to stagehands and security. And let's not forget the travel expenses. Flying a huge crew and all their equipment around the country, or the world, adds up quick.
Yes, I was a lighting designer on many different projects throughout my career.
That's amazing. Lighting design is so important for creating the right atmosphere, especially in live performances. You must have some incredible stories from your career.
Yes, I did Busta Rhymes, Alicia Keys, 50 Cent, Jodeci, Drew Hill. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's an incredible resume. You've worked with some of the biggest names in the business. It would be awesome to hear some of your favorite memories from those projects.
Yeah, maybe you can help me write a book.
Sounds like you've got some amazing stories to tell. I'd love to help you write a book about your experiences in the music industry. Do you want to start by brainstorming a title or coming up with a basic outline?
Yeah, why don't you come up with something so far from what you heard?
All right, how about this? From the Shadows, a lighting designer's journey through music history. It highlights your behind-the-scenes role and the fact that you helped shape the visual side of some of the biggest acts. Or, if you like something a little shorter, maybe Illuminating the Stage, a lighting designer's story.
Exactly, both are amazing. This sounds like it's going to be a great project between you and I.
I'm really excited to work on this with you too. It's going to be a chance to share your unique perspective and give people a look behind the scenes of the music
by King Cooley.
I'm a little confused by altered by King Cooley. Did you mean authored by King Cooley?
Exactly.
Something else you'd like to discuss? All right, sounds good. We can definitely make that happen. Do you have any specific ideas for the book's overall tone or style?
Yes, it's going to be how lighting in my creative energy, I dealt with the chakra system to complete the energy for the audience. Without the lighting, you can't create the mood for the audience. I helped implement that factor every single time I got. All right, we're going to stand by for part two. Part two coming up soon. Thank you for coming in. Part two, where we talk about starting to write my book with Gemini. I appreciate y'all for coming in. It's fun to just learn these new things that's happening. Age of Aquarius. Let's go. King Cooley, we out.